Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel again. Thank y'all so much for coming over, man. Now, look, as time goes on, I feel like more and more and more stuff slowly will start to come out. I ain't here to convince people. I ain't here to get y'all to believe anything. Look, I be on here trying to inform myself. I always say that. But we got some breaking news. Got this video here from TMZ, which I'll leave in the description because I might have to trim out some stuff depending on what they say. It says, Jeffrey Epstein, we know what really happened. That's what the title of this video says. Now, all over the internet, they're talking about the emails that have been coming out or that came out. I want to see what they have to say. I am a believer that both parties, again, I hate talking about political things. I hate it. But to me, this is beyond that. This is where we're dealing with right and wrong. You got all these victims out here that, oh man, I just feel so sorry for them, man, because the way they're being treated, how they trying to brush stuff under the rug. But like I said, I do believe that both parties are on this list, and that's why they're trying to cover it up so much. And when I say both parties, I mean left and right, Republican, Democrat, whatever you want to call it. All right, I'm a firm believer of that. But we're going to check this video out. Appreciate y'all. Let's jump right into it.
Democrats from the House Oversight Committee released a slew of emails.
A slew.
And they are about as significant as anything we've seen yet, tying Donald Trump to Jeffrey Epstein in a far more significant way than we've ever heard to this point.
Yeah, and these emails are conversations between...
And let me just say this, because a lot of people be like, they'll try to get on you for reacting or getting the information from here or there. You can go anywhere and find this. All right. It's so many videos that are talking about this same issue. All right. So the source don't even matter. Just press play.
Jeffrey Epstein and author Michael Wolff, as well as Ghislaine Maxwell.
So let's start with 2015, just before the Republican debates on CNN. Michael Wolff, the author, told Jeffrey Epstein that he was concerned that they might...
He had heard, actually, that
CNN would ask questions about Epstein to Donald Trump.
Right, would ask Donald Trump about his relationship with Epstein. And Epstein responds to Michael Wolff's bringing that up. And Epstein says, if we could craft an answer, what should it be?
Damn.
Now listen to this.
Which, by the way, we should say, makes it clear that Epstein is saying, if I could get information to Trump on how to respond to that question, what should it be?
Damn.
Well, if it were simply, if the truth was simply all he knew, he just knew and socialized with Epstein, you wouldn't be concerned about crafting an answer. Right. You craft an answer when there are things you don't want to say or shade or avoid. Now listen to this. Wolff sends back to Donald Trump this. This is a quote.
No, Wolff sends back
to Epstein, excuse me. Wolff sends back to Epstein. This is a quote. I think you should let him hang himself. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the House, then that gives you a valuable PR and political currency. Then he goes on to say this. If it really looks like he could win, you could save him, generating a debt. That is way more.
It's in emails. This ain't something I'm making up. This ain't something they making up. This is literally what they are reading in exchange. So again, I feel like when news like this comes out, people find some way to go, oh, but you can't do that with me. I already said it. I said it in this video. I believe both parties possibly could be on this list. So I'm just taking the information as it's given. But what they just read right there, oh my goodness.
Save him part is
Save
could
him.
save him.
Save him from what? That's the question. If it's just they socialized, you're not saving him from anything.
Right.
And then it gets into some of the victims.
Oh boy.
So
Right. Because this is 2019, a January 2019 email. Epstein, again talking to Michael Wolff, says that, there's this whole thing. Donald Trump has said that he kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago,
Right.
and Ghislaine because they were poaching young women from his spa.
Right.
So Epstein says to Michael Wolff, Trump said he asked me to resign. Never a member, ever. Of course he knew about the girls, as he asked Ghislaine to stop.
And if you have any question about whether Ghislaine and knew about the girls and whether Trump was involved with the girls, listen to this. This is an email that goes back to April of 2011. This is Epstein dropping Trump's name to Maxwell in an email. Here's what he said, quote, I want you to realize that dog that hasn't barked is Trump.
Wait, what?
And then the name of the victim is redacted. We know now it's Virginia Giuffre.
That's what the White House is saying. It's Virginia Giuffre, right?
She said that Virginia spent hours at my house, Epstein's house, with him, Donald Trump. He has never.
I just want to see the response to this. What are they saying? How are they trying to debunk this? Again, these are emails. People, boy. And here's my thing. Is this the stuff they've been holding on to? Like the FBI or whoever was investigating? Was this, you remember they were like, I have the stuff on my desk. What's her name? Pam Bondi, when she was like, I have the stuff on my desk. Like, is this the stuff that, I just want to know, did they know about this stuff? Because if they knew, and then you talking about the stuff they've been feeding us and trying to debunk, but this is what, boy, hold on, say that again, what he just said.
White House is saying it's Virginia Giuffre, right?
She said that Virginia spent hours at my house, Epstein's house, with him, Donald Trump. He has never once been mentioned, police chief, etc. I'm 75% there.
I don't know what that means.
What?
I don't know.
The
what he's
75%
suggesting
there. But he's saying that Virginia spent time with Donald Trump, not at Mar-a-Lago, but at Epstein's house.
Now, the White House has responded to these emails and said, Virginia, and this is true, Virginia Giuffre said that she had spent time with President Trump, but always said that he was nothing but kind and didn't suggest that there was anything criminal that he did.
Right. But what's interesting is the email that I just read that Epstein sent Ghislaine about the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Ghislaine responds, I have been thinking about that.
So that's really, really interesting.
Yes.
Because clearly she's saying in that email, I have been thinking about that. I know what you just said to me about him spending time with Virginia at your house. I know about that. Why that's interesting is because Ghislaine Maxwell earlier this year had a very now infamous meeting with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, where she said that she knew nothing about President Trump spending time with anyone who was underage. And right after she made that statement, she was transferred to this minimum security prison camp where she is.
I also remember her saying that something about him being like a gentleman or something like that every time she was around him. But she said, uh-oh. So again, she said what she said. She got moved to that luxury where she's being treated like a queen. We know that. Got all these perks and all that stuff. We know that. And we all seen right through that. We're like, oh yeah, she's withholding some information. Is this information? Seems like it's part of it. Because, if she's saying that she knew, I just want to know what's going to happen after this now. Boy, I feel like this may be a ripple effect.
Now.
Say it again. Say it again.
And right after she's made that statement, she was transferred to this minimum security prison camp where she is now. So she told the Deputy Attorney General she didn't know anything about it, yet in this email she is saying, I've been thinking about that.
Since 2011.
Right.
Since
That was
2011.
in 2011.
So, look, these emails, which are not really part of the Justice, we don't know. They may be part of the Justice Department file. We don't know because
No, so
That's
the
what
House Oversight Committee said that these were received by subpoena. They subpoenaed the Epstein estate after his death
Right.
in 2019.
Now, we don't know whether these are part of the Justice Department file or not, but that file is now headed for release, I think, with the swearing in of the Arizona Congresswoman today.
Yeah.
And once that happens, the file is going to be released. But the White House is calling BS on all of this. They're saying that this is just
a smear
taking
campaign by the Dems and that
taking away from Trump's historic accomplishments. But there is something here that why in 2015, ahead of the debate, is Epstein trying to craft a statement?
When he uses the word craft.
Craft a statement essentially about Epstein's relationship with Trump.
Right.
That is really interesting, to be continued.
I just don't understand when people say it's a smear campaign or they're trying to do this or trying to do that when they're simply just reading emails that were sent by the parties involved. Like, am I missing something here? I feel like when people say that, I'll be like, wait a minute, why am I questioning myself? They're literally talking about emails that were sent. All they doing is reading that. Like, this is what the people have been trying to see. And now we're seeing it. And now we're reacting to it. And now we're going like, what the hell? Like, she lied. They're saying he will find a way to say this is a hoax or fake news. Men in both parties are guilty and need to be brought to justice regardless of how rich or connected they are. Facts. Why is Wendy under a guardianship and all these people are not? They say the White House is claiming the redacted name is Virginia. Why would y'all believe them? I mean, they said it, but she's not here anymore. So she can't even defend herself, which is a whole nother story there. Let me see. I'm just looking at some comments of what I actually can read. It says, he's saying I'm 75% there sounds suggestive of his being on the verge of taking or talking to some other action. Yeah, or talking or taking some other action. And of course, craft means to control. Yeah, so 75% there is like he needed to be at 100% to try, allegedly, to, you know, almost like proof or something. I don't know. Someone said he will pardon himself and run again. Wow. Surprising to no one who has a functioning brain. Yeah, I just feel like it's surprising that we're actually seeing the email, not what it says. You know, I don't think we thought we would ever probably see something like this. They're saying Virginia was paid off to deny wrongdoing. Hey, comment below what y'all think. And it's funny too, because videos like this will get kicked out of the algorithm so quick and fast. They don't want us talking about this. They do not. They do not. Yeah. Boy. That's huge, I will say. Huge that we actually see an email, man. All right. Peace out. Thanks for watching.